Good morning, everybody. This is Grant from Spark Site, State of the Spark, Hot Spark. You know me, I'm Grant Sparks. And today we have an awesome show. This is episode, for those who don't know, hang on, let's get that. For those who don't know, this is episode 306 of The Spark Show, and I'm so glad you're here. We've done 306 episodes, and those might not know, we actually started this show in the beginning of COVID. And today I'm live from Cohatch, downtown. And I had a moment to talk about the 4 levels of commitment because I have done a lot of coaching. I've done small business coaching. I've done vocal coaching. I've done sales coaching. Right now, we're working with a lot of influencers and working on their coaching. And I'm realizing that there are everyone's on a different stage of the journey, and there are different tiers of commitment level. You could talk about your journey in terms of the hero's journey. You could talk about your journey in terms of the tools you're using. But what I'm learning is that there's levels of commitment that I think you need to know, and it will help you gauge where you're at on your journey in order to be encouraged. So that's what we're going to cover today in just a quick second. Now, if you've tuned into the Grant Sparks Show at all, you know that we always start with one major thing, and that is morning cup of gratitude. You got to start your day with gratitude. Listen, if you cannot start your day with gratitude, what are you even doing? I don't know. Literally, I don't know another mental state to access the gifts that are flowing towards you without gratitude. I don't know what you call that state. If you are flowing and the world is manifesting and the universe is manifesting your dreams towards you, the number one situation, the number one mindset I know you have in that moment is gratitude. So I want you to start the day, and in the comments, I want you, wherever you're checking in, if you're checking in from Instagram Live over here, if you're checking in from YouTube, if you're checking in from Facebook, wherever you're at, I want to hear from you what you're grateful for. Don't do it for me. Do it for you. Do it so that you start your day with a heart of gratitude and you make yourself receptive to what the world's got going for you. So I'll start today with my morning cup of gratitude. First and foremost, I am grateful for this morning cup of Earl Grey tea. I love coffee, but I love Earl Grey tea. I'm grateful that my partner, Nicole Bradham of Hot Mod Influencer Agency and Spark Sites, we've come together, we're merging forces. In the last 2 mornings, we've gotten up at 4 a.m. I have this poor person. I have woken her up at 4 a.m. the last 2 days, and we've come down to Cohatch, and we've recorded videos for our membership. We're doing a whole training to make sure that influencers and content creators are on a path to not only enriching themselves for financial freedom, but also becoming the marketers of the future. And so we're giving them our agency tools, our agency guides. We're pulling all of Nicole's experience. We're pulling all of my experience with sales and business and putting it together in this awesome course. And I'm so grateful for my partner that she's willing to do that. It takes what it takes, right? The business takes what it takes. Your dreams take what it takes, and we're committed. And so this level of commitment that I've seen from Nicole in achieving her dreams, which overlap with my dreams, which is why we're partnered, the level of commitment I have seen has got me thinking about commitment. So if you know someone who needs to know, if you've seen a friend that has a goal, hasn't really stepped into that goal, and needs to be encouraged on taking the next level of commitment, please like, subscribe, or share. Share this to them. Tag them in the comments below. They need to see this today. So let's talk about that real quick. So again, real quick, why are we talking about this? Over the last 10 years, I've coached a variety of people. I started with personal development coaching. I have a huge heart to make sure that people can accomplish their dreams, or at least set out on the journey towards their dreams, because of what it does inside of them, of the person they become, of the person everyone becomes when they start chasing their goals. And so I did personal development coaching, and then I realized that's a little broad and I'm a little young. I got to get some gray hairs in before I can really be qualified to talk about this. I need some more experience. So I started focusing in on small business and sales, which I had a natural knack for. And so I wanted to learn how to be better at teaching people. So I cultivated a mind and a heart of teaching. So I started learning how to teach, how to speak, started doing tons of shows like this, so it came naturally. And so I started learning the different modalities of actually educating others around the topic of sales. Then as we started launching businesses and launching partnerships, I started to actually, good morning, Zeke, how you doing, man? Good to see you out there. I see you on Instagram Live. So I started learning how to teach, and then I started doing small business coaching because I realized you can apply a lot of these goal setting skills, a lot of these ambition skills, a lot of these personal development skills pragmatically in a way that can help you achieve more in your business. And I started doing that. And then lastly, as I said in the introduction, we started helping influencers and content creators and marketers really apply all of these skills, from the personal development skills, now the small business skills, to achieving more. And one thing I've noticed is this. There's a lot of frustration out there. A lot of small business owners, a lot of content creators are dabbling, and there's no real framework, there's no real path for them. So there's this major problem out there for anyone seeking greatness, anyone seeking big goals, anyone seeking to make a new income, to make a massive change. And they go so far and they think this path doesn't work, and then they quit. I'm not going to judge people harshly because it's very confusing out there. People quit not because they don't have a dream inside of them. People quit not because they're weak. People quit not because they're quitters. We've often shamed people that, a winner is someone who's gotten up one more time than they've fallen. There's a lot of these ideas which are good in principle, but are they really encouraging? Do they really help in a structured way? We've come up with this framework of the 4 levels of commitment that I really think you should be aware of. The 4 levels of commitment allow you to realize I shouldn't quit just yet. There's a great small book on this, and this is our own framework, but you can check out an easy read that you can sit down and read in one sitting by Seth Godin called The Dip. And it talks about 2 or 3 levels of commitment, but it really talks about when you should quit or not. That's not what today's framework is about. Today's quick framework is about knowing where you're at and what your level of commitment is, therefore what you should expect in terms of results, and then challenging yourself, do I really want the next level of commitment for this dream? And I found that if you have this structure, you're more likely to either figure out the skills necessary, find the tools necessary, or find the friends necessary to decide, do I really want this dream? Because at every level of commitment, there's a new decision. Do I really want this next level? So let's look at the 4 tiers of commitment. Number 1, dream. All of us have a dream. If you've run with me, if you've had lunch with me, if you've had coffee with me, if you've run errands with me, you know that I always turn to the person at the counter and I ask, what's your dream? And sometimes it's awkward for introverts. Sometimes it's fun for my friends for me to ask that person, that stranger across the counter, hey, what's your dream? And to watch them light up. Everyone has a dream. They don't yet have a goal, but they definitely have a dream. A few quick points about knowing if you're at this level of commitment to your dream. Number 1, you derive nearly all of your serotonin, all of your positive vibes from the vision itself. You repeat the vision. You might have a dream board. You kind of get off on the idea. You share the idea with others because it makes you feel good. It gives you a sense of identity where you probably were lacking that for a while. You might have a dream board. You might have this physically represented in a journal. You might have written about it. But technically, you don't have any of the fruit of it. And you're not even sure what the work of it is, but as soon as you think about the work, it kind of flusters you a little bit. When you think, I want to be a writer, and you just dream of writing this novel, and you dream of seeing your book on the bookshelf, and you see, oh my God, people buying this book, and I've made some money writing this book, and I might have a little cabin on the seashore in Norway to write my next book, and I've got a good relationship with my editor, but I can kind of hide away in a cabin. You love this picture in your mind. Or as an actor or an actress, you think, oh man, I'm living the life in LA, I'm going to red carpet events, I see myself on the screen. But what these people don't really have in mind is the work. What they don't picture is the slaving away at a typewriter, trying to figure out what the next act is in the book. Or an actor going over lines, messing up their lines, getting accosted by their agent. Why aren't you doing this better? Having to show up all hours at 2 a.m. just because that's the only time the set is open, and having to put your makeup on and change your state of being in order to be that actor or actress that you need to be. You don't have any of that yet because you haven't actually done the work. So all you can really picture is the fruit. So this level of commitment is you're committed to dreaming about it. Your nervous system is starting to react positively to that dream, but you have little to no results. And then in the friends realm, you probably have a lot of the same old friends. Why? Because you're not disrupting your life. You're not disrupting their life too much. You're just dreaming, and you're probably that person with a very positive personality, but this level of commitment is you're really only committed to the dream. You're not really sure what to do about it. And if you don't advance from this stage, it's only a matter of weeks or months before you abandon this dream. Hear that? If you do not mature out of this level quickly, this is the most sensitive area for your level of commitment. This is the most sensitive area for your level of goals. If you do not graduate from this quickly, it will pretty much go away in the next 3 to 6 months, or you're going to start frustrating yourself because you really want it, but you really get frustrated. You don't know what to do next. So that leads us to the second level. Usually people do mature onto this, to the second level of commitment to your dream. The second level of committing to your dream is what I call dabbling. This is the 4 Ds: dream and then dabbling. Dabbling is you start doing a little bit. If you wanted to be that actress, you might take an acting class locally. If you wanted to be that writer, you might have a draft open in your Google Docs or on your typewriter somewhere. Maybe you purchased a little typing kit that's portable, and you've started writing a little bit. You started doing the work a little bit. Maybe you wanted to start that business. You open that LLC. You start learning the work and what it takes because you're showing up a little bit. You've carved out time in your calendar on a Saturday or in the evenings or on your lunch break to write a little bit or to run lines or read scripts, and you're trying to figure out, what do I do next? You take that class, that acting class, and you attend the class a few times and you're learning, wow, okay, there's a lot to this. And here's the thing. You start learning the work, but you also start making some new friends, and those new friends are behaving in a different way. And then when you hang out with your old friends, you start really nerding out a little bit about this topic. And this is a new level of commitment because you can see it makes your friends a little awkward. And so you still have the same old friends, but the relationships are kind of like, oh, okay, same old, same old. You're getting a little bored, but they're kind of getting a little bored with you talking about all this new stuff. But you do have a little bit of evidence of work. You do have drafts, maybe a few pages of the book that you've written. You have done a few skits in your acting class. You haven't really done any auditions or any shows, but you have performed in the acting class. You are learning some skills. You are picking up some tools. And then the relationship with your friends or dabbling, and then you start realizing maybe my location, my geography isn't going so hot. Maybe there's a lid here. You start daydreaming about the places you could go to do more. But whether or not you're willing to take the next step, what you're starting to realize is the amount of work this actually takes. And what you're really facing and confronting is you're not really sure if this type of work is for you. You're starting to confront the idea that, I don't know, it's not all red carpets. It's not all book jackets on the bookshelf at the bookstore and checks coming in the mail because I'm a phenomenal author. It's not all of that. You actually start looking at the work, and this moment is a moment where you will decide, do I like the work or do I not like the work? Can I tolerate the work? And there's a calculus that goes at this level of commitment. Is the work tolerable enough for the reward I see in my mind? And at that decision point, and if you're at this level of commitment, the dabbling, you might be able to dabble for 3 to 9 months in this phase of dabbling. But if you do not graduate from this, you will do the calculus and go, I just don't think the type of work of being an actress or the type of work of being an author is worth the dream. I don't really believe it's possible. That's the dabbling phase, and 99% of people abandon their dreams in the dabble phase. And I'm making that statistic up, but it's most people. Most people, to be negligible to mention that anyone moves on to the third level of commitment. The third level of commitment is dedication, or to dedicate. Dream is the first level, and it's a critical, sensitive part. Dabbling is the next level. So you're starting to familiarize with the work, starting to expose yourself a little bit, and it's starting to affect your relationships a little bit. Dedicating is when, in your mind, you have gone all in. Now, some of you who says, I've been chasing my goal, have been in this dedication phase for a long time. The dedication phase can last years. In the dedication phase, you've gone all in. Perhaps you've even moved physically. If you're that actress, maybe you moved to LA or Hollywood. If you're that author, maybe you moved to Atlanta or New York City because that's where the editors are. That's where the publishing houses are. Or maybe you at least move there in your mind. You've started to really become serious about your craft. You carve out time each and every day for acting, studying films, for writing, pumping out pages on your draft of your book, researching your book. You've gone there. At this level of commitment, this dedication level of commitment, your relationships, your old relationships are nearly all gone, and here's why. You don't do the same things anymore. Whereas your old group used to play, I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons like my old group used to do, or stay out till, 3 a.m. at Denny's talking. I started getting up really early at 4 a.m. and going to the gym. So I couldn't, just the calculus, I couldn't make it to Denny's at 2 in the morning if I had to be at the gym at 4. I did that for a while in Orlando. I was studying acting. I was doing all the auditions at all the theme parks, but I was also staying out till 1 in the morning. So I had to get up and go to my day job at 5 a.m. I had to be at the gym for 2 hours in the afternoon, and then I'd go out, and eventually I burnt out. I learned that I had to let go of that old life. So a lot of your old friends are gone, but here's the pain of the dedication level of commitment. In the dedication level of commitment, you don't have the new friends because you don't have the body of work to earn the new group of friends. And this is a very elongated, painful phase of commitment to your dream. You don't have the body of work. The book has not been published. And even if you did publish a book, it was your first book and it was trash and it wasn't met with accolades from publishers everywhere. If you were an actor or an actress, you've done plays and you've got some of them under your belt, but you weren't great and you're not really sure about the next real big play. And the real actresses that you want to run with and the real authors that you want to sit with, they've had a few wins and they want to see if you're going to continue in your level of commitment. So you're in this gap of relationships where your old relationships just don't cut it. Your new relationships are kind of watching you on your journey. They're paying attention. They're waiting to see if you're going to be the midnight friend. That means the apocalypse at midnight, you're up standing with everyone in solidarity, metaphorically, for your goal. You're the one who, when they check in on you, you're at your typewriter writing that book. If you're the actress, when they call you, you're going to bed and you're looking at a script and rehearsing lines and you're practicing your role every chance you get. When you talk to this new group of friends, they're continuing to watch. Are you going to persist? Because we've paid the price and we know the price. Do you know the price and are you willing to pay? At the dedication level of commitment, you are in what Seth Godin called the dip. It is the most painful, I believe, of the 4 levels of commitment. The new world that you're trying to move towards, this group of people you're trying to run with, these entrepreneurs who have made it in Silicon Valley, and you've kind of abandoned your small town technology hub, and you're in between. You haven't earned the right to be with the new friends. You don't have the money, don't have the rewards, don't have the success, but they know that that's not the metric. The metric is whether or not you're going to continue to the finish line on that book. You're going to continue to hit auditions if you're an author. You're going to do that last line of code if you're trying to do a SaaS startup. The people who have been there know the price. They're not looking for you to be a millionaire. They're not looking for you to have a hit movie. They're not looking for those evidence. They're looking for the evidence that you persist and publish the work. So the evidence is real tough. You've accumulated new tools, and the tools you're becoming very familiar with, you're really realizing it's your inner demons, your self-sabotage. As Stephen Pressfield called, you encounter resistance every chance you get. That's the 3rd level of commitment. It's called the dedication phase. And to me, it's the most difficult phase. And if you did not quit in the dabbling phase just before that, anyone who's left is going to actually lose it on the dedication phase. They're going to quit, they're going to burn out. It's exhausting, and rightly so. But if you happen to stick around, if you happen to stick through it, you might make it to the die phase. What? The 4th level of commitment is death. And by that, I mean it very positively. It's death to self. It's commitment. It's doing. You have now made a total character shift. You are now an author in your mind. All of your old friends, they might be gone. Some of them might come back around, but they're coming back around because they're recognizing you as an author. You might not have had a hit, but there is something that you've published work, and it might not be a hit, but you published it. If you're an actor and actress, you might not have had a world-class film in the movie theaters, but they have seen you pump out work after work and stay committed to that. Maybe you're a yoga teacher. You have now opened up that studio, and you might not have millions of followers yet, but you open up that studio, and maybe your old friends might come around, but they're okay with encountering you with the new self. You know that if you don't move in this direction, in the direction of your goal, from here till the rest of your life, as far as you're concerned, you will die. That's why this is called the death to self. You have a new character, the old you, is nearly completely dead. You know that if you don't proceed in this direction, you're going to die. And what's more, you have fallen in love, not with the outcome, but the work. At the death to self, or the die phase of commitment, you have fallen in love with the work. You love sitting down. You love wrestling through the next scene in your book. You love encountering the work at 2 in the morning with your script and your other actresses. If you're a Silicon Valley person, you love staying up at night and adding that last line of code and perfecting the UX or UI interface. You have fallen in love with the grind. You love the work. You are thrilled to put your ass on the line for this thing. You're excited every time you know that I've got to go all in. You've learned the mechanism of what it takes to go all in. You count the cost, and though it breaks your heart to see friends come and go, it really does, and it hits you deeply. The calculus in your mind is, this is still worth it because I still see the vision. I know the work it takes, and it's vast, and I now have fallen in love with that work, and I own it, and I'm willing to move forward and put everything on the line. Nearly all past relationships are gone, and it is at this moment that you start to get welcomed into the new tribe of doers, because they've seen your level of commitment. Again, they haven't seen world-class hits necessarily, but they see a world-class worker in the field because they know that's the price of greatness in their field. The 2 a.m. screen and line rehearsal as an actress, the everyday getting up and putting pages down in that author's book, the weightlifter who goes to the gym no matter what, even when friends are like, hey, we've got family in town. Hey, that's cool. I'll meet you guys up. I'll meet up with you guys later. But when you do meet to dinner, everyone's eating dessert and they just skip. They're fine with the calculus. Only now do you start to get a glimmer of what that life could be like, and it's no longer about the paparazzi taking photos of you on the red carpet. That might come and go. But you realize that even if you have those moments, they are only moments, and you still have to wake up the next morning. You still have to wake up the next morning and do the work, and you're in love with the work. You're not in love with the red carpet. That is the fourth stage of commitment. When you've died to your old self, you are now in love with the work, and even though the accolades might come of that new level, you shrug it and say, thanks, I appreciate it for the award, but I got to get to work tomorrow morning because the work is what drives me. The outcomes are what drive me, and it's not the very shallow outcomes and the rewards, and those are good moments. You want to celebrate those moments that you finally earned, but you know it's about the work. The 4 stages of commitment: dabbling or dreaming, and that's where you get off and you have no real fruit. Dabbling, that's where you start to actually take action and you start to see the work it takes. Dedicating, when you make the leap from the old life to the new life. And dying to self, when you've made a whole character change to actually love the work. Listen, whether you're a content creator, whether you're an actress, whether you're a small business owner, I believe the 4 stages of commitment to your goal are the same. And I hope that this rubric is a framework enough that you can go back and watch this video later, that you can review and ask yourself, am I going to make the commitment stage after stage? Because at each juncture, I will be confronted with a question. Knowing what I now know, will I continue in this vein? You are allowed to quit. You should quit if you get to a certain phase of commitment and realize, I don't think I'm willing to pay this price. If you question it, if it is not an unction or a driving need in you, because the commitment is a pain, it hurts, it is not easy. To choose greatness, it is not easy. But if you have it in you as a creator, a lot of creators, especially like we're encountering a lot of RV and travel creators, a lot of those creators got into the content creation life because they envisioned themselves traveling, they envisioned themselves floating in a lazy river somewhere across the world, eating baguettes in Paris, and getting paid well for it. Very few people achieve that level. If you look behind the scenes, it's often working the phones for paid collabs, sending DMs, organizing proposals. If you cannot fall in love with that work, the content creation is amazing and it's creative and it's fun and you should do it wholeheartedly. But you need to fall in love with the work in order to get the rewards. So why am I talking about any of this? My personal mission is to ignite lives of explosive significance. Our mission with HotMod is to help influencers, help mission-driven creators. We're working on our mission statement. At HotMod, we help purpose-driven creators achieve financial freedom. Achieve financial freedom through their creations. That's what we hope for everyone we touch, but you have to fall in love with the levels of commitment in order to do that. So we're talking about this because we want to encourage you to go pro, to become a professional, to fall in love with the work and know that the fruit will come, but you have to persist. We want you to persist. The world needs you to persist because here's what it is. Check it out. A lot of you want to go out and find what the world needs and meet it. The quote is this: don't go out and find what the world needs and meet it. Go find what makes you alive, because what the world needs is people who are alive. The only way to become alive is to check your commitment on the goals in front of you. If they are not aligned, please abandon them and go find goals that you are willing to commit to, because the world needs to learn that. That's my hope for you today, but no matter what you do today, I want you to remember the mission, igniting lives of explosive significance, starting with your own. If you're local to us, visit us tonight at the Influencer Networking event. Check us out at hotmodagency.com. Check our website company out, sparkmysite.com. If we can serve you in any way, please reach out, DM us, let us know how we can serve you in any way, shape, or form, whether it's coaching, whether it's tools and training, let us know. But no matter what you do, have a fantastic day.